Well, all right, here we are, back at the bench, ready for another round of penguin vlogging. Honing vlog, actually. This one's not going to be too long, I don't think. Kind of tired. Just got finished barbecuing. Had some salmon. It was pretty good. So anyway, I don't talk a lot about Suita. Mostly because in the world of honing razors, most people avoid Suita because, you know, there's inherent problems with stuff in Su, the little holes, the pockets, the vesicles, lines, uneven feeling, you know, which doesn't really matter when you're honing heavier blades. But if you're doing razors and you have a very delicate blade, you want something a little different. Now, not all Suitas like what I just described, and that's why I have this puppy out. This is a Hadera Suita. This is actually in my Etsy store right now. It's a beautiful piece. It is not Sunashi. There is some Su, not much. It's not really a problem. It's there, but no nests, no uneven feeling. It's a very creamy stone, actually. Just lapped it again. You can probably see some marks in the top. Stones I sell, I'll take them out from time to time and hone on them. And then I'll update descriptions if I pick up on some stuff. So you can see here, 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 so on. I'm picking up some dryness. And it's going to happen, you know. You get used to these things. It's not the end of the world. I have this nice Nagura. This is a Kudo Han Suita. It's a nice sized chunk. It'll probably last me the rest of my life. See, this has like one of those lines in it. See how it like runs all the way through? This is hard, very hard. So if this was for a razor, it wouldn't be a bother. But if you had like a softer stone, you could feel it, and it might throw people off. It wouldn't be what they're looking for honing razors. And sometimes it doesn't matter. You know, Suita is a funny lot. I don't recommend Suita to new people. You can see the slurry coming up is predominantly from the base stone. This is harder than this. This is what I would call an average hard stone. This is above average hard stone. Now that's for Suita. You want to compare it to like Tome, right? This is a different type of stone, so it's apples and oranges. So hard here, hard there might be two different things, because the stone is made up a little different. So I got some slurry here. This might actually be a little bit too much. If you were just starting out, you probably wouldn't want to work with that much slurry. Alright, so we have this incredibly crappy razor wannabe thing, gold dollar. And I am using this razor for a series of experiments, trying to minimalize, take a minimal approach to things. All right, I just got done doing a series of edges using this guy here, which is a Washita, which is fairly coarse actually, that one, and then just following it with pastes, because a lot of guys that were barbers back in the late 1800s, they did something similar. They actually had a little bit of advantage with their Washitas back then. I'll get into that another time, but I'm trying to emulate it, and I'm learning a bit about what things were like long ago, or what they could have been like actually, because I wasn't really there. But I did actually have a barber's kit from the late 1800s, and in it wasn't a Washita, it was a carborundum, badly dished, and a series of pastes. And the razors were in there, and the barber licenses were in there, and so on. So I know that was the kit. I know that's what the barber used to sharpen his blades. So normally I have a sort of mid-range approach to honing. I have very complex progressions that I get into sometimes, but for the most part, all I do is something closer to the middle. I'm doing mindless honing here right now. I'm going by feel. I have no idea how many laps or strokes. I'm not counting. I don't care. I'm going by feel. Now, what I'm attempting to do here is to completely polish out the work from the previous stone. I know, Captain Obvious shit, right? Because that's what we're supposed to do normally. Now, I know there are guys that show you like they can hone on a Jnat for like, I don't know, 5 laps, and they take out like bevel setting scratches. If you get past the smoke and mirrors bullshit that those people are perpetrating on you, you realize that their bevel set was on a 5K. So you're really not telling me anything with that stupid game. Okay? Here, okay, my edge was started on a much coarser stone. I'll show it to you in a minute. But way coarser than 5K because I did a full bevel reset, right? A real bevel reset. Now, I don't want to get into semantics. To me, to Keith, a bevel reset is 0 down to 1K. All right? There are people who will tell you can reset a bevel on a 4K. And maybe a 5K too sometimes, and someone will say, well, I do it on a 3K. And you know, this is where we're getting into semantics because the edge is the bevel, right? The bevel is the edge, right? So if you use a 3K and you get where, you know, you get the edge to a place you're happy with, you know, then you reset the bevel, right? Well, not exactly. When you use a 1K and you bring it all the way down, you create a whole new base, okay? So you're literally starting from the beginning. So you got to keep keeping it wet. I can't let it get thick. If I let it get thick, I'll kill my edge. The feel on this stone is amazingly creamy. It's not like honing on Tome. It's not like honing on any other kind of Jnat. This is actually smoother than honing on most Okudo or Ohira. In fact, most of what is sold as Okudo is actually Ohira, and unscrupulous sellers are perpetrating that lie. Someone might say, well, what does it matter? Well, you know, once you have a couple of real Okudo under your belt, then you realize. But, you know, if you want to take the approach that a Volkswagen is as good as a Rolls Royce because they both get me to the corner, fine. We're not going to have a discussion about that. You know, things are what they are to me. Volkswagen is a Volkswagen, and a Rolls Royce is a Rolls Royce. If I want one or the other, then that's the one I want. So anyway, super creamy, super smooth. I would highly recommend this to someone doing a higher end polish on like Japanese cutlery for a kitchen or something like that. So I got my little wipey thing over here, otherwise known as paper towel, and fairly muddy, you know. If I take a loop and I look at it, yes, I'm 100%. I've completely eradicated my marks in the past stone. You might convince me to hone a little bit more on the stone because the honing sensation is absolutely wickedly cool. So anyway, so you saw me, you know, I made slurry, right, on this, and I honed with the slurry, and I didn't get too far into dilutions or anything. And to be completely honest, after the video is over, I may go back and do a dilution test. But yes, I did use slurry, and you know, you should know, all right, there's this thing about in the honing world, everything, slurry this, slurry that, slurry the other mother freaking thing. Ask yourself, why do I want slurry? You don't need slurry all the time. In fact, it's not beneficial, and sometimes it's actually, you know, a liability. All right, like say on a 12K Naniwa, people tell you, oh, I make slurry. You know, why? You're killing your edge. Okay, you might like it, but okay, fine. Why did you buy a 12K if you want to blunt the edge with slurry from particles that don't break down? Because not all particles break down. Particles from this are probably going to smooth out with some work, some pressure, and give you a break. When you have a conical or some other types of stone, you know, tam o'shanter, dalmors, certain types of slate, most slates actually, they don't break down. Now, like with an esche, you make some slurry sometimes with a rubbing stone, but you're really not making the edge finer. You're making a foamy cushion that gives you a lighter touch that can make things go a little smoother, and you might be able to develop the effect of a lighter touch that way. You also keep this, you know, the stone clear. A lot of slates, like a dragon ton, you slurry them up, they go backwards in a grit equivalent, all right? So ask yourself, what are you doing and why? You know, if someone is telling you to make slurry with something, ask them for objective proof, something beyond, oh, I like the edge. I don't give a shit you like the edge. Prove to me what you're doing makes sense. Or go out and test it, but test it objectively. Don't shave test it and be like, oh, I like this better. Because in 3 months, I almost guarantee 90% of the people that are slurry and shit like an Arkansas stone are going to be like, you know what? This blows. Okay? Seriously. Arkansas, like a hard arc, if you can actually find a way to make slurry with it, you're going to kill your edge. To me, you kill the edge. Okay? If I was making an edge and I got to an Arkansas stone and I made slurry, either with a diamond plate or another Arkansas stone, I'm going to kill my edge. I'm going to kill all of my work. I will regress my edge. It will not be as sharp or smooth. All right? Now, if somebody thinks that their honing method somehow circumvents the laws of physics and knows a better way, you know, good for them, fine. But I just wish that people would stop telling newcomers and so on, like, oh, you got to use slurry on that stone. Got to use, what did I read? Luscious slurry. How is it luscious? What are you talking about? Fucking shit people make up sometimes. It's based in ignorance and it creates confusion. Making slurry should have a purpose. Cause, effect. Right? Why are you making slurry? What do you hope to achieve? What, you just want to make slurry? For what? What's your reasoning? What, your AK isn't sharp, isn't fine enough? You think making slurry on an AK makes it finer? No, it doesn't. It does not. Logic, reason, laws of physics are behind what I just said. If you doubt that, well, that's fine. You know, whatever. I can't talk anymore about that. It's going to drive me nuts. I'm going to get angry. You're going to think I'm nuts. Here's the stone I used before. Well, before that one. Yeah, I got a stain. I hate when that happens. It's a nice white stone. Now I have some like sweeter goo on it. Anyway, this is Aizu. All right, a nice piece of Aizu. It came to me with a very old sticker, actually. A real one, not one of these for the tourist trade things you see on eBay that are all like in these fake old boxes with fake old labels and fake old stamps. Yeah, it's like nuts out there right now, people. Please be careful about what you're spending money on. Anyway, so I got this puppy, and I had wanted a real piece of Aizu. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. Nah. There's a blue tint in it. Yeah, can't really get it to show. And even now, I'm looking at it here, and it's like, is that really blue? It's like kind of there. It's a coarse stone. It's early to early mid-range. It's coarser than, like, say, Binsway. It's very difficult to get this stuff, real stuff. There's a lot of crap out there being like drilled out of Nagata, and they're calling it chew, they're calling it whatever. Now they slab shit up and they call it everything that you can't buy. They're telling you that's what it is because they found out that people will buy anything on auction sites. All they got to do is put a name on it, and people are like, well, I don't care, it was cheap. Until you go to sell it and you're selling bullshit to somebody, and you're like, oh, it's Aizu. No, I'm sorry, that's chalk. Anyway, this did a hell of a job. It's a little wider than you would expect because, like, it's totally, like, completely cover the whole edge. But it did a hell of a job on helping me set the bevel. It's a little slower than, like, you know, synthetic stones. Okay, it's a lot slower than, like, a 1K Chaucera. But for a natural stone, for a bevel setter, it's an option. It's harder. It feels harder than, like, Binsway. You wouldn't want to use Binsway for a bevel setter. You could, but this is harder, so it's more appropriate. You can use a Botan if you can find a Botan this clean, this big. Right now, that's like Botan is scarce right now. Scary scarce, actually. And big pieces like this, you're not going to find one pure white. Probably not. If you do, and you know the source, and you know for sure you're not getting your chain jerked, and I'm not talking about some guy with a lot of feedback on an auction site. I'm talking about someone you have a real good relationship with, because a Botan this size is going to cost some coin. But that's an option, but this is still a little harder, and I argue with people in Japan. They tell me the Botan is faster, and I'm thinking that this is faster. So stone to stone, you don't know. Maybe this is a faster Aizu, and they're using a slower Botan. I don't know. Globally, I just can't say. I'm saying it's fast enough. That's all. But it's a great stone. Does a great job. I love this stone. This is in my Etsy store now, too. I have a lead on some others. And that's why I feel comfortable selling this, because I know I'm not going to be out. Right now, this is my only piece. So I got to be nuts to have this on Etsy, right? But there's a big piece that cost some coin that I want to get, and that's what I'm gunning for. So I got this to test, check out the new source. Aizu, that's what that is. And I talked about some slurrying, and there's that, and then I have this lovely chunk of Hadera Suita. So it's a little bit of alternative honing, a little bit outside the box for me. Normally I do an Agora progression, but I hone lots of ways. People tend to think Keith is all about one thing. I'm about a lot of things, you know. I spent most of Friday and Saturday working on this. It's a Chicago cutlery knife, and I redid the handle, right? I have another one in the works right here. Here's the blade. I gotta cut some wood. I might do this in G10 actually. Might make it for Tammy with some swirly wood looking kind of G-wood thing. I don't know yet. Anyway, so I constantly have a lot of irons in the fire. So I'm not just about all one thing. I hone a lot. I tested 12 stones this afternoon. So when I get to do my own stuff, I kind of tend to break away from the norm because I just want to keep myself interested. So I got some Aizu. I got some penguins. I had a little bit of a rant about Slurry. Hope I didn't piss anybody off. Well, actually, I know I probably pissed somebody off, but I hope you get over it quickly, because what I said, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, stop slurrying everything just to make slurry. If you're going to do something when you're honing, have a reason. Figure it out. Check it out. Take notes. Compare. Test. Compare. Test. And compare again. My main thing that keeps me in this game is the stones and the honing and the gains in my honing game, and checking out new stones like this Aizu and this awesome Suita over here, and you know, even that Washita I showed you before. Constantly being in the mix with new stones, trying new techniques and going in new directions. That's my thing. Okay, so anyway, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, I guess. Listen, I want to get done quick. So listen, take care. Get out there, do some honing. Sit down at your bench, get your Zen on, set your bevels, progress, make comparisons to the last time you honed, write stuff down, check it out. But remember, one thing, very important, keep it fun, enjoy it. If you let it become a chore, then you're not going to enjoy it, then you're going to move out. You know, buying a new razor, yeah, it's great. I have a new Wade coming. It's got horrible cracks in the scales and pitting everywhere. Can't wait to like fix it up. Anyway, always have fun. Keep that up front. Until next time, take care. See you soon.